I don't know. How you doing? It is, yeah. They're getting quick. Yeah.
Happy and sad. Sad and happy. About your news.
Yeah.
Salt Lake City area. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I almost went to the University of Utah. I was accepted there before Colorado. And it's so nice.
Colder stuff. Exactly. Both places.
Yeah, yeah. Right.
Chris?
Hello?
Hi, Barb.
Yeah, yeah, that'll be fun. Oh, pretty cool.
Yeah.
I know.
It's the ocean. Yeah.
It just runs such a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
Do my
Yeah,
best.
great. Yeah.
Aren't you gonna miss work here? Just take like the summer off.
Yeah, I'm taking like 2 or 3 months off. Just bum around and
Yeah.
go like,
That's a good part of the country.
Yeah.
Envious.
be a full-time bum for a while.
Yeah.
I was researching for one of my novels, rescue missions with a hoist and, the helicopters when they come in and rescue hikers. A lot of videos of St. George, Utah.
Yeah.
And they had to go in there at night.
Oh, wow.
And we brought 2 Black Hawk helicopters up,
unless they're cell phone records.
In the same area, those helicopters can come in on like, 10,000, 12,000 foot peak. And just like, while the rotor's still, but they don't, it's stuck.
Yeah, they're just hanging there.
Yeah, it's just, and
Like
then somebody
wow.
jumps out,
Like
it's
leaning
like,
into the mountain, they're just hanging there.
and then the guy who jumped out to get rescued, didn't slide. It was incredible.
It's impressive, yeah. I've seen quite a few videos.
Those helicopters.
Yeah, high altitude rescues, that was ridiculous.
So my character has to get airlifted, so then I had to research the board, and because it was,
Oh, yeah, wow.
it couldn't really, just hang on and
Yeah.
go up, but I don't know, I guess that you're clipped on. Pretty securely.
I assume so, yeah. Never had
It
the
looks like a
misfortune to-
harness, it'd be kind of fun to train just in case you ever had it.
Yeah.
I was reading a series of Christian novels about some of the firefighters out in Montana. One of the things, it was fiction, but you could tell that the author had a lot of knowledge about.
The thing is, you can just go on, YouTube and find something that really happened, maybe just rewrite it and compare it with your people and your spin.
Yeah.
But I got, getting to some of these subjects, I'm not very familiar with, especially like science. And then it's like, I realized that less is more. Just go in, get arrested, don't tell me all step by step because I don't know. And then it's more visual, interesting. Yeah. Keep it, because not all readers know it. Okay.
Yeah.
True.
High tech.
We're getting there, though.
Whoa!
Here we are.
Here we are. Good gracious.
Someone had saw the brokers open and said 25, and I can't remember his name. He was an agent here when I started. Tall, thin, and I'd seen a lot of brokers opens at the time, and then he switched companies. And he said,
Where'd you go?
he asked about it.
Tall, thin.
Young, old.
Well,
Tall,
then probably 55 or so.
Quickly we forget.
Yeah, I need to find an old picture.
Yeah.
Bruce Berry?
No,
Huh?
he just had his t-shirt and
Bruce Berry?
haven't seen him in a while.
No, Bruce Berry's older than 55.
Yeah. Never really.
I'll try to.
I'm trying to think of, so few people leave, so
Yeah.
you'd think we would.
It's hard, because he used to come to the, all the different things.
Oh, now it's driving me crazy.
I know, right? Like,
I mean, I know my brain
I
is.
thought of Tim Michelle,
No.
and then I realized.
Oh,
that
Tim
was-
Grossman. Was it Tim Grossman? Real friendly, smiley face, but he's not tall.
Yeah, no, this-
Did he have on gym shorts?
Yeah, and shorts and a t-shirt, or a
Was he
was
hosting
really-
someone else?
No, he was casual.
Yeah, he came to mind, the guy in gym shorts. I can't remember.
That's him.
All right, well, let's keep thinking. Let's keep thinking of maybe by the time
He
the
wanted to talk to you, and I thought, well, maybe he.
meeting's over.
You didn't have a sign-in sheet, so you don't have any.
No, but we'll stalk him.
Yeah.
In a matter of minutes.
Yeah. Well, ask Debbie for an old agent
Yeah.
photograph scenario. Well, thank you guys for being here this morning. And I know some people are joining us remotely, so that's good. One thing, just as a reminder, for those of you that weren't here yesterday, I know Bart, you and Logan were here. Megan was here, I think. Caitlin's class yesterday morning was really good. Sherrod, you should watch that on the YouTube channel on preparing your home for sale and the importance of staging. Both of them were covered really, really well. And Becky obviously had done her classes before because at her broker open yesterday, her house was very well prepared for sale and staged nicely.
But you know what was so nice about it is to have all those little extra, the cards, dear realtors. It's so like, it's kind of old school, but I've been missing that for years. And it dresses it up so much. And I think the seller really appreciates it.
And it just goes to show, I mean, Becky probably told you, but those folks did all that themselves. And they've already moved, and they had enough stuff that they were able to leave it. I mean, it still looked pretty well furnished for having already moved into another place, but just in really nice shape. So anyway, make sure, and again, just a reminder about the YouTube channel, which is really helpful in regards to going back and catch up on things you might have missed. And yesterday's would be a good one to watch. Last chance to vote for Roy Wheeler is the best of Seville. 6/21 is the deadline. Caitlin is one of the 5 realtors that made the list in regards to being nominated, so vote for her as well. And again, when you vote, just send that out to your, do a share of that link to your Facebook friends. Say, hey, I just voted for my company as best of Shut Seville. I'd love for you to do the same. And then scroll through, and there are probably other things that people that that got nominated, and I know they appreciate your support as well. Talked last time about how productive May was, but we didn't have the individual people yet. Really good month for a lot of people. Top lister, Matthew with 4.5, Ginny right behind him as she always is, or right ahead of him as she always is, with 4. Edna, Steve White had 2.5, Julie with 2 in downtown, Susan Stewart with 2 inside Crossroads, and Susan Rears, Gavin, and the Yes team also had 2 listings during May. So still, that's the place to focus, folks. If you can get listings that are in the condition that Becky's is in, and priced right, and a good location, and that kind of thing, it's money in the bank. So with the marketing things, just like Becky said, even the simple things that we offer, like those cards and things like that, we have so many things to present to the seller as to why they should work with you versus somebody else. And we're going to talk about personal branding and differentiating yourself this morning. But it'd be something every week where you have on your docket that I'm going to go after listings, and if you need help with that, please let me or Yona know. We're happy to help with that. We did a FSBO thing a couple weeks ago. Again, you can watch that on the YouTube channel. The good news is that I think we're turning into a little bit of a buyer's market. I think things have slowed down a little bit as far as how quickly things are selling, and when things do start trending in that direction, for sale by owners get pretty frustrated because they're not getting the activity, the showings, those kinds of things. It's a great time to go and build a relationship with them. And again, using what we talk about all the time, building rapport with that for sale by owner, gaining credibility with them, and then having a system in place where you can show them you care so that when they do get frustrated and realize they're not getting it sold on their own, you're somebody that they'll consider. Tops of sales, Mike Peters and Gavin each had 4 sales in May. Matthew and Lance had 3 each. Maureen and Susan had 2 inside Crossroads downtown. Julie with 2. Duke and Sharon and the Yes team had 3. Jen Shipley had 2.5. Barb had 2. Caroline, Tim, and Steve White each had 2 as well. So congratulations to all you folks, and appreciate your efforts. Good news is that one of the reasons that we have that kind of success is that our surveys keep on showing us that people really like the way you help them. 100% through today. Have rated us excellent or very good, and in all honesty, you can say 100%. Well, that means that the people that weren't happy didn't send a survey in, or maybe their house didn't sell, and so they never sent a survey in. But in all honesty, that doesn't happen very often. We certainly have some expired listings, and we have certainly have things that ended up not selling. But most times, almost every time, it's not because we didn't do our job. It's just because of whatever. Good example, Duke and Sharon had a property out in Gordonsville. They did everything they could to get that thing reduced under 600. I think we had it at 625. They said it's got to be under 600. They did everything. People got mad because they just kept on talking about price, and Duke and Sharon just market the heck out of things, and Sharon is a great stager and those kind of things, and so we ended up losing it. I got involved in that one, met with the sellers, and we worked it out that we were going to hang in there till the end of the expiration date. We ended up losing that. That property just sold in the last week or so for $549. Another agent got it and listed it at $599, and they up to, I think I'm not making that up, I think it was $549, so it was significantly less. If they had listed with Duke and Sharon for under $600 at the very outset, that house would have sold for more than $549, no doubt in my mind. And yet we're the bad guys, and now somebody else picks it up and sells it at $549 and makes a commission on it, and you can bet that we're not going to get a letter from them saying, "Hey, you were right. So sorry that we were so obstinate." And because they had told Duke and Sharon it didn't sell for $600 or close, that they were going to rent it. They'd already moved to bought a place down on the eastern seaboard someplace. Anyway, bottom line is we're not going to get a letter saying, "Hey, our bad. You were right. You were wrong." And I don't know. Whatever happened with that one that you remember you and John worked on out in that same area?
Last we saw it was like.
And still hadn't sold. Yeah, and she wanted what when you guys met with her?
Oh, she wanted 600.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, a good example. I mean, Duke and Sharon worked just as hard as they could to get that thing sold. But the lesson there is sometimes if you really know somebody's obstinate and they're being unreasonable, you're better off saying no and being that other agent that gets it once they're ready to lower their price. Instead of going through all the heartache and being, anyway. But all this to be said, bless you, all this to be said is that the surveys we get just continually just rave about the work that you guys do, and I'm so grateful to be a part of it. Talk about promoting your personal brand. I know some of you were at the Car General membership meeting at Farmington a couple of weeks ago where thank you. Mary Jean talked about personal promotion, and I listened and I took some notes, and I thought, this is something I want to just sort of spend a little bit more time on. And I thought this was a good place to do it, because I think the things that she brought up, you've got a handout in front of you, and this one that says creating your personal brand and effective marketing you. I just sort of added on. I hope that when you listened to her and the things she was talking about, I hope that maybe you've heard some of those things before, maybe even in this room on a fairly regular basis. But I just sort of added in. This was off a slide that she presented, questions to consider when you're talking about personal brand and effective marketing. First one is, who are you? Who are you? Who do you want people? How do you want people to view you in the business? And some people have pictures of them with their horse, or they're with the dog. Devin has done her whole thing with Daisy, and Caitlin does her thing with Minnie, and that's something that's part of their brand in regards to that kind of stuff. So how is it you want people to view you? What makes you unique? This is where thinking about where are there niches in the market that I want to make sure that I'm seen or I'm visible when people are in those niches. And Chris can talk a lot more about this than I can. But if you're going to get with him, you got to get with him quick. Because we've only got a little over a week left with my man there. But the point being is the whole putting yourself, if there's niches that you want to be involved in, then you need to make sure that what you're putting online, the search engine optimizations are picking it up. Use Becky as an example for a minute, that she knows the wintergreen market well, so she's trying to re-engage that market a little bit to create the sub words or keywords and things like that. So when people are searching wintergreen resort, Becky's stuff comes up. If you're want to focus in on investment properties and 1031 exchanges and things like that, well then you're going to want to do some posting and add some sub keywords to that, so that when people are searching for what does it mean to invest in real estate, that your information comes up. And the way you do that is by consistently posting things within that niche, and then also doing the keyword things as well, which that is not my cup of tea, if you will, but it is Chris's, and it will be the person whoever it is that we replace Chris with. And so, you know, what makes you unique? What's your vision? Do you have a vision? I would definitely sit down and have a conversation with yourself and write down what is your vision. And we've got the creed out here, you know, in the main room in regards to who Roy Wheeler is. I know for myself that I have a vision. I have a mission statement that I've written that is what I try to do. You know, I try to be that person each and every day. And every so often I'll go back and read it again to remind myself what it is. And simple things like making a positive difference in the world. How can I, you know, impact somebody's life today? Servant-heartedness. You know, different words for me are things that that I sort of step out on each and every day and try to be that person. And sometimes I succeed at it, and sometimes I may not. Sometimes I may rain on somebody's parade instead of you know, making the sun come out. But even in that situation, the whole aspect of humility and forgiveness. You know, if I do that in a certain situation, I try to go back and repair that. Go back and tell that person, hey, you know, I think I was a bit short with you the other day, and I'm so sorry. And thankfully, sometimes people say, I didn't really think of you. Or some people say, well, thank you for forgiving. But anyway, what is your vision for yourself and this business? Why do you do what you do? You know, you use Sherrod for a minute. Sherrod drives Uber as well as in real estate. Well, why does he do that? Well, one, he's making some cash, you know, right? He's creating revenue. But holy moly, how many people is he meeting every day? And he's not shy about giving them their business card. I've had friends, several friends, older and college athletes that have come up to me and said, hey, I met your friend Sherrod the other day. He drove me to the tennis court. Or I met, because he puts his card out, people say, oh, Roy Wheeler, I know Michael Guthrie. And right, right, and so why do you do that? Well, I'm creating revenue, but I'm also doing it because it's a great place for me to try to generate some leads and some prospects and get people onto what I call the, you know, real estate food chain. You know, our personal branding is all about making contacts. It's all about getting people to contact us. Now, we certainly have our own sphere of influence, which hopefully we're working on a regular basis, but it's also about generating new leads. And that's where your branding, you know, comes in. And what, you know, I believe that the one word, if somebody says, how do I be successful in this real estate business? My one word is contacts. If you don't have any contacts, you're not going to be successful. You can understand the contract because you've been through all of our classes. You can understand how to prepare and stage a home because you've been through all our classes. You can be able to negotiate great. But if you don't have anybody to do it with, it doesn't make any difference. What am I doing to get people on the real estate food chain? The suspects to prospects, the prospects to customers, the customers to clients, buyers and sellers, the buyers and sellers to homes sold, the homes sold to dollars earned. And that's that food chain that we're trying to move people through. And what we're doing with that food chain is if we get satisfied clients, satisfied buyers and sellers, satisfied people who have bought homes, they then start handing us other people. And the point of all that is that when somebody else, with Chris Sanders, you know, says, hey, you need to talk to Michael Guthrie if you're thinking about buying a house. Well, I'm not a good example because I don't sell. You need to talk to Sherrod about buying a house, or any one of these folks. When they call Sherrod, it's not a suspect anymore. It may not even be a prospect. It could already be a customer because they have been referred to you by somebody they trust. And so they move up the real estate food chain faster, and then you sit with them, you talk to them, you talk about representation and why, you know, being exclusively represented is important, and they become clients. And it happens much quicker. And especially on the listing side, somebody refers you to a listing, you've got a much better chance of going all the way, just fast forwarding through that food chain to clients, because you're going to sit with them at a listing Maybe you're going to build rapport with them, you can gain credibility and show them they care. And they're saying, yeah, you're the person I want to work with. And now they're clients. They're sellers. They signed a listing agreement, blah, blah, blah. I had a situation just this past week where an old friend used to be in the business here and now lives someplace else, texted me and said, I have a friend who has a place here that they need to sell. And would you make sure you get an agent to work with them? So we have. Now that one's one where we're competing. But I'd like to believe that in my conversation with his friend, I found common ground as it related to, one, that we've sold some property in that particular area. I made sure he knew that we've been successful in that marketplace. Two, his daughter rode for Kevin Sauer, the crew coach here at UVA. Well, Kevin's a very good friend. And, your daughter rode at UVA. That's why you bought the property. Well, Kevin Sauer's a very good friend of mine. And so not only am I a friend who referred it, but now I've connected that piece of it. And so hopefully those warm, fuzzy type of things, when we go in to make a presentation, it differentiates ourselves. It makes us unique. And it could be just that. Hey, everybody seemed equal, but because you knew Kevin Sauer, we listed it. Or because you referred to us by such and such, we listed it. What are your professional goals? We talk all about this all the time, about business planning and those kind of things. You should have them. You should have personal goals too, but you need to have professional goals. What am I shooting for? How many listings a month do I want to have? How many buyer control sales do I want to have? How many open houses am I going to do every month? Whatever the case may be. Who is it that you're trying to help? Again, that depends. You may find that you are much happier working with sellers than buyers. But you also might find that if you never see another seller, it's too soon, right? I was the opposite. If I never saw another buyer, it was too soon when I was an agent. I just did not like having to spend all day long in a car showing people property with the understanding they may never buy anything. If I listed something, I got a sign in the yard and a lockbox on the door, I had a good chance that I was going to make some money in that situation. And I was going to be able to maintain and control my time better by being a listing agent. But other folks, and that's what makes the world go round, right? We've got to have agents who love buyers. We've got to have agents that love listings so that we have both. But the other thing too about listings is then you have something to market, which can bring you more buyers. Sign in the yard, things like that. You get sign calls, it goes on Zillow, it goes blah, blah, blah. There's opportunities for it. So who is it you're trying to help? Are you going to be like first-time buyer? Do I want to really focus in on the first-time buyers? Do I really want to work on a particular price range? Do I really want to work on a geographic area? All those things are important when it comes to creating your brand and making sure people think of you when they're ready to do something in real estate. And then what is the difference maker and why someone should work with you? That's the differentiator. What differentiates you from other people? And I personally think, in summarizing this little piece of this, people make decisions with their heart rather than their head in many situations. Some of them it's the biggest financial decision they're ever going to make. When you walk out the door, you want them to say, boy, that person was prepared and I really liked them. I think I would really enjoy spending time with them and having them help me. Versus being a top-notch agent, really well prepared, got the track record, and yet you just are so businesslike and so matter of fact that when they walk out the door, they go, I don't know, that guy or gal is kind of cold. And, it's amazing. I mean, you see it all the time. I've been in the business for any amount of time. People choose to buy a house through somebody who's not even in the business. They do 1 or 2 deals a year, but they're a friend or they're a neighbor. I don't want to hurt their feelings, right? So we got to work really, really hard to be prepared, gain that credibility, but show them that we care about them. And in building the rapport, walking out that door, having them say, "Oh, I really like that person," right? They could really like you, but if you're not prepared, you got to have both. It's got to be the whole package. So, what is the difference maker and why somebody should work with you? All right, so that's just sort of an oversight, a little bit of extra information in regards to kind of what Mary Jean was talking about. I wanted to pull up for a couple of reasons. One, just to remind you again about Leading RE and the Institute. But I found two quick videos that I think go along with what we're doing. So I'm going to let Chris get those going for us.
I'm Denise Brewer. I'm a fellow realtor, and I also have about 2.5 decades of experience as an expert in marketing. Marketing is something that we as realtors hear constantly. Market, market, market. What is marketing? Do you really understand, and are you doing it right? Marketing is the method of communicating the value of a product or service. Guess what? You're the product providing the service. The key aspect of marketing in real estate is awareness marketing. It's brand awareness. Making sure that the people that you want to be your clients know who you are. You're the product, and you are providing the service. You want to be front of mind. It's key to the success of your business. Front of mind means the first person your potential clients think of when they think real estate. Researchers have found that the key to successful brand awareness, remember, you're marketing you, the product, and your service, real estate, is you have to send a clear and concise message repeatedly. Not once, not twice, but for the long haul, over and over again. That dramatically increases your chance of getting new clients because you're the first person they think of when they think real estate. To get started with brand awareness and brand marketing means you have to really take a good look at yourself. Define yourself that's true to you. Pick colors, show your personality in your marketing. You gotta be consistent, you have to be concise, and it has to show the true you. You will stand out from the crowd because you're showing your own personality. Once you've decided on all the fun stuff, how you're going to define yourself, your colors, your picture, your brand, the next step is you have to be transparent. What that means is you have to live up to everything that you're promising in your marketing. If you say that you are #1 in service, you better deliver. How do you carry out all of these things that we're learning about marketing? You have to tell the world you're in business, you're out there, and you are the best at what you do, real estate. So you have to put yourself in front of your clientele and your future clientele. It's not just driving through yards anymore, looking at signs. Where are your clients? In this day and age, it's the internet.
Come to the other one? Yeah, please.
Hello, I'm Matthew Ferrara. In this video, we're going to look at ways to make social media more effective. You know, social media is always changing, so it's up to us to constantly refine and adjust our marketing plan. The key is to monitor our engagement with our social network and to make changes to constantly increase our visibility and our presence. Our first idea today is about driving our visibility on Facebook, and this is specifically for those of you who have a business page. These tips are all about boosting your posts because it's a comparably more effective way than many other web advertising activities to get traffic. Now, the key to boosting posts on Facebook is to use the targeting features. The targeting features enable us to choose the audience who will see our posts. So we create a post and add the content, then we click the boost button, and we look for the targeting controls so that we can make sure the right people are seeing the right message. Things like clicking use people who like this page, or use people who like this page and their friends, which help us expand their reach. Now, another great feature of boosting our posts is the call to action button, and this is pretty new. The call to action button adds an additional way people can engage with the content, a button like learn more or sign up or even book an appointment now. These are ways that we can create an activity someone can do when they see our ad. Additionally, you can refine your boost post audiences. You can do that by country, by state, by zip code, and now you can even do it by address. So you can put a street address of a listing in and target people who are right near it. The last piece about boosting Facebook posts is that you don't have to pay for a lot of advertising. You can buy just a few days, see how the ad runs, and then refine it and add more at any time. Now, another Facebook business page tip is to use the call to action button on the page itself. These buttons can say things like call me now, or contact us, or sign up, like our newsletter, even learn more and watch our video. These buttons are prominent at the top of the page, and they come right under the large banner image that you have there. They'll encourage people to act when they visit. They also can be promoted, so they're like another opportunity for constant advertising on Facebook. And when you use the Boost post promotions, they not only appear on Facebook, but they appear on Instagram as well, which Facebook now owns. Finally, these buttons can be linked to an app, so you can actually push people to download your personal marketing or inventory app directly from your Facebook page. Here's one more Facebook business page marketing idea. There's a new feature called Create Lead Generation Marketing Campaigns, and it's exactly like it sounds, a way to generate leads right out of Facebook. It allows you to create a special kind of ad, which is actually a form. And this form can have an image and some text or bullet points, and then it has sign-up fields like name, phone number, email address, and other contact information. Once you create this form, you create an ad campaign in the ad manager, but rather than simply a picture and some marketing text, hoping that people visit or click your website, you can actually drive people to the form and collect information as an inquiry. Facebook even allows you to use additional marketing features like a photo carousel or even a video inside the lead ad. Now, every lead that's captured is notified to you and stored for 90 days. You can download them to keep them permanently. The lead generation ads appear directly in the newsfeed timelines of your targeted audience, just like any other ad. So those are 3 new ways to expand your marketing reach using Facebook's ever-improving suite of marketing and advertising tools for business pages. I'm Matthew Ferrara. Good luck.
Chris, how about, can you go back to that 1 second?
Yep.
What's the date on that?
The date that it came out,
And that's that right down at the bottom.
that's when we accessed it. I might have it on here. I think these came out like June 6th or something.
So they're,
June
that's
3rd.
current information.
Yeah, like the last, because they had new syllabus come out like a month ago.
Yeah.
It doesn't say, but I remember the last syllabus was like June 3rd. 3rd or 6th.
Has anybody boosted themselves lately?
I don't know if I count the company, it does.
Actually paid for a boost?
Mhm.
Because I heard a few years ago that you never want to be based on anything other than like a debit card.
I
When
use
you're
the
signing up for a boost.
I use the company card. We have.
But I mean, if you decide you want to stop if you're
I just put
then
it
they
in.
just keep it.
I haven't had any problem with that.
I haven't either. I
run
boost the radio show, Real Estate Matters, from time to time, and it's amazing because it's very inexpensive. And you can target people that you kind of want it to show up on their pages. And most times you're paying, and then after a certain amount of clicks, it just goes away. It's not an auto renew. It's
Yeah.
you paid them $10 or $15 or $25, and as soon as you hit the impressions, they're not gonna keep.
There's
doing
no
it.
auto renewal on there.
Because you only gave them 25.
I always do like 25 over 7 days or something like that. And they bill you at the end of the month. So if you run like 3 ads for $25, you get billed $75 from like first. But I've never had any billing problems.
The best, I mean, a personal promotion for sure, but I think one of the places to boost is your open houses.
Mhm.
What are you shaking your head on?
I was gonna say, I don't know, in this technology, I don't know how to do any of this stuff.
So it's really easy, and obviously Chris, I mean, I do it. I mean, but when you post something in a business page, it'll, most times it'll even say, do you want to boost it?
Yeah.
And then you just click on it,
and you put your credit card information in, and you can do $10 for 3 days, or so. Let's use an example for a minute. I'm sitting here.
Okay.
On an open house, you know, you put it in on Thursday, and you run it for 4 days. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, for 10, 15, 20 bucks, whatever you want to do. And what happens at that point? Anybody that's searching for real estate, not just on Facebook, but you know, in their cookies, your open house is going to pop up.
Mhm.
And it's you know, along with the print media that we do, and going in and put the open house in the car so it goes there, those kind of things. I think it's a really effective use of money.
It is, yeah. One of the most affordable ways to reach people.
And you can you're targeting. It's not like you're saying, I want it to go into this zip code, or I want it to go
This
into
neighborhood.
this income level. Or
Can't do
people-
income on Facebook.
What's that?
Can't
Oh, you
do
can't
income.
do income anymore. Okay. But age?
Yep, you can do age. There's only like 10 boxes really. When you post something on Facebook, you click boost. There's like area, age, how many days you want to run it, how much you want to spend. It's not even limited. It's like 5 boxes you have to fill out. It's pretty simple, but I can help.
Yeah, and the other part of it is that when you're doing a listing presentation and you talk about the fact that you're going to do that, the people like you that they're talking to as well, that's not in their marketing plan. And so, oh wow, they're doing Facebook and that kind of thing. So, yeah.
I mean, the cheapest, I think you have to do minimum of $10. I think it's 5 or 10. That's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
And I think for $25, we usually reach like 5,000 or 4,000 people. So.
Okay. But I love these things because they're just so short, and they're just bullet point type things that I think are really helpful. So talk a little bit about listing presentation. Not going to do that today, but Chris, where are we with the digital version? I mean, that's still up and running, and
Yeah, we have the PDF of the booklet that I made last year or so.
Right.
And then we have the Prezi slide through. It's like a slideshow.
Yeah. And what I like about the digital one is it's pretty simple. It's like 5 bubbles.
Yeah.
But it's a great thing to send to somebody by email. Hey, looking forward to tomorrow at 2:00. Just wanted to send you this to give you kind of a taste of some of the things that I'm going to talk to you about. And it just gives them you're reminding them you're going to meet with them. 2, you're showing them that you have a technological, even though you have a technological bent to your marketing because the company's provided it for you. And 3, you just make sure that you understand the bubbles so that when you go into the presentation next day, you're going to hit on all those things. It's very basic, but it's just a really good thing. Or when we're talking about for sale by owners, and they say, we might be getting ready to think about selling. Well, let me just shoot you a quick link to some of the things that we do. And then when you're ready, we'll talk more specific. But there you go. You're sending them something by email, and you don't have to do anything. You just got to click and copy and paste it. So anyway, and then again, we've talked about this, but the new postcards going into neighborhoods, again, from a branding standpoint, going back to this page, creating your personal brand for a minute. We talked about connecting using build rapport, gain credibility, show people you care. The personal promotions class, I just did a 1-page that's on the back of your creating your personal brand. Again, you can go to Roadmap for Success. The handout that we have, the training handout, and that information is in there, but I give you a copy of just gives you some ideas to hit on. But the big thing as it relates to that is personal promotion. When we talk about engaging, finding ways to get involved with the influencers around it. I wish I could remember the guy's name, and I'll have to try to see if I can find it. And when I was at Masterminds last year, there's a phenomenal speaker that talked about how he had gotten to where he was, the success that he had had. And one of the things he did is he talked about making sure that he was around influencers. And so even though they couldn't afford it, they joined a country club so that they could be around the people that are influencing that community. And again, building rapport, gaining credibility with them, showing them they care. Ultimately, business started to come from that scenario. Never would have come there if he hadn't put himself in a position to be around influencers. It doesn't have to be a country club. It could be that you're going to join a particular like a Rotary Club, or you join something at the chamber or whatever, but whatever you can do to put yourself so that you're around influencers in your community so that you can put yourself in a position where they start wanting to work with you. Talking about publishing, just talked about Facebook posting. Most of us aren't ready for, doing a blog. But we do a blog at Roy Wheeler. I give information to Chris. Chris finds stuff. Go on the roywheeler.com blog, get a link that you think people would be interested in, and send that out to your sphere of influence. Add it to your own Facebook business page. Whatever the case may be, you don't have to write it yourself. That's one of the reasons why I try to write something up every month for you and do the market report every quarter. So you've got things that you can just send out. Again, because I'm not competing with you as far as buying and selling, you can send out, this is from my broker. He writes on these things all the time. Another thing that, again, totally up to you, and you don't have to tell me if you like it or not, but looking and seeing what the topic that's on my radio show. That's a great thing to send out. It's a 24-minute podcast on things that are going around Charlottesville. This one, that's past Saturday particularly, we talked about Lockland Hill, and we talked about the Downtown Crozet Initiative, both which is, a lot of people are interested in. And so to be able to, if you go like on the Real Estate Matters page, the Facebook page, I posted the podcast, and I also posted an article that was in the paper the week that we were doing it in the Daily Progress about the Downtown Crozet Initiative and affordable housing and Lockland Hill. And so both of them together, the Daily Progress link along with the podcast with a little bit of a write-up of blah, 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 that would be a great thing to, to send out to people. Hey, if you just some interesting things going on in our community. There are all sorts of different things that are there and available to you that you don't have to invent yourself. I mean, Becky, you're a writer, and so you might want to do some of your own things. The only thing I would do is make sure that you add at least a line or two at the beginning, just saying, my broker has a radio show, blah, blah, and something at the end. If I can help you in any way, please let me know, because that creates it as it's not just links. You don't want to just post the link. You want to post your own text in front and at the end, because when the Google spiders start looking for that kind of stuff, they'll see that as an original, thought process, and that raises up the search engine optimization of it versus just, posting the link. So publish blog, business page, again, letters and postcards. Find somebody if you don't have somebody, find somebody in the office that has a buyer looking for a particular type of property, and then send a letter into that particular type of area and say, hey, we have a buyer. You don't particularly have a buyer. We have a buyer who's looking to live in Price Sparrows. If you're thinking about selling your house, please give me a call. Those are working. And one of the reasons it's working is because for many years, lots of people did that, and then people got away from it. So it's almost like it's original again. It's kind of like bell bottoms, right? Every so often they come back, right? My wife says if you wore bell bottoms the first time, you really shouldn't wear them again. And she's probably right. But anyway, the point being is it doesn't have to be publishing a blog. It can just be a business page post. It could be letters. It could be postcards. Just information letting people know that you're engaged in the business and you want to help them. You want to be involved. And then measure to see what did or didn't work. Start again implementing what you found that worked. So again, you go through the process. I'm going to do this for 90 days. I'm going to do these kind of things for 90 days. And I'm going to measure what kind of response I got from people reading Facebook, what kind of, did it change the visitors in my open houses, blah, blah, blah. And at the end of it, go, okay, what was effective, what wasn't? And keep doing the things that are effective. And then figure out what wasn't effective over here and change that and give it a shot some other way. So again, just having a way of measuring, I think, is really important. Thoughts on that? Different ideas? Is that helpful from a standpoint of just some basic things that you can kind of start doing without having to spend a lot of time on it?
That makes sense. It's just knowing how to implement it.
Yeah.
Well, I was after you last week after one of these messages goes to your mind after a meeting like this. And it's like I said, have you gone back to your old world of retail customers?
Mm-hmm.
And she said, oh, it would be too hard to remember who they all were.
Yeah,
She had
I
been
mean-
there for so long
Right.
at Talbot's.
I remember faces, but right now I can't remember the
And
names.
you're a local girl.
Yeah,
And it's
still
like,
is.
it seems like you could be doing like posts about fashion, and, you know, as a realtor, because they all know you as the way you look today.
Thing is, I'm trying to get myself away from that. That's
Well,
the-
I know, but
Yeah.
if you went back in there and just said,
Right.
how's everybody doing? I love her and Wheeler, no regrets leaving, I miss you all. Because people go in all the time and they say, where'd Logan go?
I just don't know how to get in touch with those
Yeah.
people. I mean, I can't remember everybody's, I mean, I don't remember the names.
So
and how to
again,
resource to get those.
here's what you
'Cause I
do.
couldn't take any information with me.
Right. So what you do is you post somewhat of a resume. You take these things in the top, questions to consider,
Mhm.
and you write up your vision, and you post that on Facebook, and you say in that post, some of you may remember me from my retail days at Talbot. I'd love to reconnect with you, because you never know
Right.
where that's going to go on Facebook. And
Right.
I think you'd be surprised by how many people would say, oh yeah, I was wondering where you went and whatever. And now you have a reason. And what I would do is when that happens on the public comment, I would then private message them. I wouldn't keep putting that on there. I would go and say, hey, thanks so much for reconnecting. I'd love to grab coffee with you at some point. Here's my email address, or something like that, so that you get them off to the side and start doing it. But I think if you did, a 1 year, say, hey, just wanted to, kind of do a 1 year update and use this. I've been in the business X amount of time, and what I've learned is that this is who I am, and this is what makes me unique, and this is my vision for what I'd like to see happen over the years. And I've got, professional goals, and just as I did in the retail business, I have professional goals, blah, blah, blah. Would love your help. If I can help you in any way, let me know. And I think you'd be surprised that may be a way of, connecting. And then the other thing I've said is, I would, if your husband's still in that business.
Right, and he's a help.
Yeah,
He's a
yeah. And, but include, that, make sure that you're, anyway, that's how I would do it,
Yeah.
because you don't know how to get a hold of them. But Facebook, and if you like what I've done and blah, blah, please share this. And so then they click share and they put it on their page, and they have 500, 600 friends, or 1,000 friends, or 2,000 friends. Now everybody sees that.
Right,
So now 2,000 other people have seen that.
okay.
And it's not like you are working at a similar type store like you were,
Right,
that you're in totally different.
That's right.
Feeling, so.
That's exactly right.
But the hardest thing for me when I first got started was being able to kind of ask for business.
Yep.
Mhm.
And it was like, especially at church, I never wanted anybody to know I was in real estate, and I just thought it was, you can't cross that line socially because they'll think you're pushing it. But there's a nice way to kind of get in the conversation, even if it's just handing somebody your business card when they're gonna call you back about something else.
Right.
Just say, this is my business card, but here's my email. Then they have your card,
Right,
and you haven't really said.
And that's the thing. I mean, when you're building a rapport, gain credibility, show people you care, at some point they're going to say to you, I know you're in the real estate business. And now they're the ones who have initiated it. So now you don't have to feel bad about crossing that line or pushing, because they're the ones who said, tell me about how it's going. Well, I'd love to. When can we have coffee? Now, again, this is just me.
Right.
But in social settings, I don't want to get into a conversation in a social setting. I want to have a real conversation with them. So when people, other than doctors, I think we're the second most asked question, how's the market? Doctors, it's, I got this little elbow thing. Yeah, but I'm a dentist. I know, but you got to have some idea of what's going on here. But anyway, what I used to do is just say, I really appreciate you asking. And depending on where you are, the market could be frenetic, or it may not be quite so good. When would be a good time for us just to have a cup of coffee? And I'd love to chat with you for half an hour, 45 minutes. You're going to know very quickly if they're serious or not. I go, no, I was just curious. Okay, well, if your curiosity gets more than that, love the opportunity to do that. Here's my card. But get out of that in a social setting, because it's awkward.
right.
In my opinion, it's awkward. And my wife doesn't like it, because it's just about business. It's not about. So anyway, but yeah, good thoughts. Thank
But
you.
I did have something for Roush. watched and he left. And it's like, there's these loans that are available just for first responders.
Yeah,
And
Yep.
he would be just fabulous going door to door at the fire stations.
Yeah.
And introducing
Yeah.
himself. He
Yeah.
just got such a great
He does.
personality
He
for
does.
that.
He does.
And those guys can't always afford anything.
Yep.
But to know that there's somebody
Yep.
looking for them.
Yeah, that's a great point. Okay, real quick, I think that those are the things I really wanted to cover this morning. As far as future dates to remember, this afternoon YPN's got their cookout. If you see Caitlin, make sure she knows I mentioned this. Anyway, that's this afternoon from 4 to 6 in the Cascadia Clubhouse. So I'm going to try to stop by there. That sort of becomes my bewitching hour, but I'm going to try to at least make a hit and run visit there. But that's from 4 to 6 today. Tomorrow, Jay's Movement Mortgage Ice Cream Social. I think he's doing fresh peach ice cream, which is really good. And then next week you've got the Buffini Blitz on Monday, and then Carv's got C classes in Fluvanna all day on Thursday. Not sure where that is in Fluvanna, but if you go on the Carr website, you can find it. I'm actually teaching 2 classes. I'm re-entering the CE teaching class this coming week. It'll be interesting to see how I do for 2 hours, an hour at a time. But anyway, that's all day the 27th, and then there's a WCR Women Council Realtors meeting from 8:30 to 10 on the 28th. So that's another place to go and be around influencers. I mean, not only they're real estate influencers, but it's not just realtors. It's lenders, it's stagers, it's different people like that. You build rapport with those people, you gain credibility with them, and maybe they send you leads because of the relationship that you build. So anyway, that's a week from Friday. So.
And there's Tucker Tips tomorrow, is that right?
No, there isn't. I sent an email out yesterday. Somehow I didn't pay attention to that, but somehow Debbie got that on there. He was in May. When I saw that, I went, wait a minute. I thought he just did May because he usually does it 1 week, month, and next month, and then Hope does it. But that'll be next month. So there's nothing tomorrow morning. All right, Logan's won a $2 lottery card, and Barb and Becky have both won $1 lottery cards. Congratulations! And just because you guys are so special. And I'll get a third one. Oh, I got 3. Good. You also win. So Logan, you get the $2 lottery card. Congratulations.
Forgot to thank you for the one, the IOU
You also-
one.
yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
complimentary tasting
Thank you.
at Carter's Mountain. For being here this morning. And here's a $1 lottery ticket.
No Christmas thing is door prizes.
That's right. In our company, there are all sorts of. Chris, here's
Oh.
there you go.
Is it Bob Sullivan?
Bob Sullivan, is that his name?
Oh, yeah,
There you go.
Yeah.
Way to go, Chris.
I guess right on the age, I wonder.
Yeah. No, he's probably older. I think he's a little bit older. I think he's more my age.
Okay.
But he's a good guy.
I had to email Mary and ask for help.
Yeah.
Oh, there you
It
go.
goes to her.
Thanks.
See, that's a good example of what makes us,
Yeah.
you don't have the answer. There's somebody here that does.
Yeah, right.
All right, guys, thank you so much.
How's the hunt going? To replace?
It's going well. We met with the guy Saturday, which I don't think is going to work, although he would have been great. And we've got 2 other people that Chris has interviewed, and I'm going to do interviews with them on Friday. So I think we're going to be in good shape.
Big shoes to fill.
Yeah. And I don't know, have you gotten other resumes from Indeed since?
We got a lot of them, but weeding through them all.
Okay.
Got about like 13 or 15.
Okay. Yeah, just keep me posted. I mean, we've got 2 that Chris really likes. But anyway, so.
Make sure you warn them about me.
Yeah, that's right. All right, guys.
Thank
He
you.
really needs to warm up. Are we off yet?
Oh, yeah, well, hold on. Before we get in trouble.
That's right.
Yeah, you forget it's on.
Scratch that last.
Oh, he wouldn't mind, but we really need to warn about David Callahan.
Oh, yeah.
David came in again. Hey, Bevan.
Hey, sorry.